My name is Erin. I'm a co-founder of Pomoja, and we're here with Treva Brown. Treva, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself, please.
Hi, everyone. My name is Treva Brown. I am a current graduate student at the University of New Orleans studying chemistry, obtaining my Ph.D. actually in October.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
If we could go into kind of your background personally, professionally, and educational, what kind of factors from your background brought you into STEM?
So actually, when I was younger, so I'll say about high school, that's when we all pretty much start thinking about what we want to do. I honestly didn't know what I wanted to do, and it actually took a physics teacher of mine to actually get me interested in the STEM fields. And she explained how they were lacking women in STEM, and unfortunately, that's still a problem today. But even then, back in 2000 and something, I'm not going to tell how old I am, but back in 2000 and something, it was even more of a problem. And even with the minority gap as well in STEM disciplines. So it got me to thinking, and I started kind of looking into and doing my own research into STEM. And I also knew that I wanted to go to LSU, which is where I obtained my undergrad degree from. And so my parents, they were all about it. They were like, whatever you want to do, we back you up. And so then when I looked into attending LSU, I looked into their STEM programs, and I actually stumbled upon a scholarship for STEM, and the scholarship was for the it was for STEM majors, and they did target minorities and minority women. So applied, was interviewed for like an entire weekend, got the scholarship, and then I had to decide what it was I actually wanted to do in STEM. And it really took me to think about what I loved to do. Math wasn't it. Engineering, I had to think too much about. And technology, I was like, and then science. So I thought about science. Biology wasn't for me because I did not like biology lab and dissecting frogs and starfish like what I did in high school. So I knew I couldn't do that. Thought about food science because I love to eat. I'm from Louisiana, so of course I love to eat. But it was just a little boring. So chemistry was kind of like let's test the waters. So I declared my major in chemistry at LSU. And actually the professor that was over the scholarship program, he was a boy emeritus professor in chemistry, and he told us about his background and how he came from a country life, which is a little bit of like my background. And I was like, you know what, I can do this. I know I can do this. And it really took a strong mentoring background, so I had a lot of support. So because it was tough, I won't even lie about that, but it was tough. But it took a lot of mentors to really get me through navigating the chemistry realm. And also another component of that scholarship was me actually doing research. And so I did a little research on the research programs that were at LSU, and I stumbled into nanotechnology with a female professor who really took me under her wing as a freshman, and she made sure that everything that I needed, everything that I wanted, everything that I needed to continue to grow professionally and as a student was basically catered to. And I really, really thank her for helping me to expand my wings and becoming a doctoral student as well. So I just loved it. I loved just basically being able to figure out things, seeing a problem and presenting a possible solution and actually navigating that solution to prove that this can work in order to help the greater good. And so now here I am today at UNO in New Orleans, with a Board of Regents Fellowship. So I also basically get paid to go to school, which is good. And basically continuing the work that I love with microscopy. And it's been amazing ever since. And hopefully the sky is never ending once I finish. And yeah, there's a little bit about my background.
Did you find that the support of your parents and finding mentors early on in your interest was really key for your for you to be successful?
Definitely, I would say that, and my parents, I actually was a first generation college grad. So my parents really supported me in, saying, hey, look, we want you to do well. We don't want you to work as hard as we do. And I'm an only child. So, of course, my needs were catered to. So I was like, no, I don't want to work that hard. But they were very supportive. They still are supportive because there's been plenty of times that I've wanted to give up. And my mom and dad, they've been like, no, don't give up. We're here. Whatever you need, whatever help you need, we can get it for you. And then, of course, matriculating through undergrad, of course, I still needed their funds to help me out. So, any tutoring or anything that I needed like that, they made sure that I had it. And then also being in chemistry at LSU, and it actually we'll probably be alluding to this topic later, but there was a little adversity there, and so there were people that actually told me to my face that I couldn't do it. So it took me to rely on my support system that I had at LSU to be like, no, you're going to do it. Whatever we need to do to help you do it, we're going to do it. So I definitely would not have been able to get to where I am without their help and their support. And they're still actually, in my corner, like, hey, Treva, when are you graduating? We need you to graduate. You can do this. We got you, my own little cheering squad. So it makes me actually excited and kind of where I am today, and actually, trying to be a voice for the younger generation, like, hey, you can do it. It doesn't take people that have gone before us to still motivate and encourage you. It can also be us. We can still motivate each other as we all, pretty much navigate the collegiate career and post-bac career and et cetera. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. That was, I have found in a few of the people I've already spoken with that family support and supports of mentors or cheerleaders just early on in their interest, when they thought I could be interested in going into STEM, that was a key component in their success. And it's something that they still seek out, is someone to guide them or work with to keep them inspired. And that support is so important, especially when you're someone who you don't really see people like you
exactly
in the field. And that's part of what we're doing here, is we want to find people that can inspire those that are typically underrepresented in STEM, like minorities and women that you mentioned. That it's maybe marginally getting better, but we hope we can inspire people who think, oh, I can't do that. No one like me is doing that. So that's really important to us, is to help those underrepresented folks. What kind of positions in organizations do you hold right now, or what are you a part of right now professionally?
Where do I start? So I'm actually on the executive board of the American Chemical Society as a graduate member at large. So basically my role is to basically relate to I call the elder members, what we as graduate students are looking to either gain from ACS, or just gain in our disciplines, or any concerns or problems that we may have. And then also, like, we have a national meeting coming up in the spring, and so one of my jobs is to recruit the graduate students and to get them involved and excited about presenting their research at the meeting, especially being that it's held here in New Orleans. And so that's great, on top of being able to show our visitors to the conference a great time. Also, I am a founding member of Alpha Chi Sigma, which is a professional chemistry fraternity that I thought was really interesting, because it's actually a fraternity built around science. So that's really, really cool. And I'm actually, it's non-professional but kind of professional. I'm also a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, which is not geared towards science or anything educational, but it's kind of like one of those things. Instead of having a sisterhood, we have a brotherhood bond in chemistry as far as Alpha Chi Sigma goes. So I think that's really cool because we also get the undergraduates involved with doing things around the university with science and being able to do chemistry outreach demonstrations. And then with my favorite being the liquid nitrogen ice cream. Again, I'm from Louisiana, I love to eat. So the liquid nitrogen ice cream and other things that we were able to do with Alpha Chi Sigma. And I'm also a member of the National Organization of Black Chemists and Chemical Engineers. And I have been awarded the travel conference grant for a while now. And so just advocating and again.
All right, we're back. So with all the positions you hold in these organizations and how active you are, do you feel that you're an inspiration to others or sort of almost a mentor to others?
Definitely. I couldn't tell you how many people I have that come by my office and they're like, Miss Treva, can you help me with this? Or Miss Treva, I never thought I could do X, Y, and Z. Or like when we do our outreach activities, they just find it so exciting that even though they're having fun with the activities that we're presenting to them, that they're actually learning a little bit about science and chemistry and basically how fun it can be, because we have this stigma on pretty much all of the STEM disciplines where we just think it's hard and you can't do it. And, basically, I feel like I can, interact with students and others and say, hey, no, it's fun. This is what you can do with it. And basically, I have also gotten emails and messages that people that I don't even know. Like I just recently got one from New York, and a lady, she was like, hey, I'm going through my Ph.D. As well, and I kind of feel like I'm going through it with you, and thank you for being a motivation and being encouraging. So in a nutshell, yes, definitely, I think everything that I do plays a very good role in the things.
Do you think that finding a way to kind of relate things from STEM to everyday life, or how it can improve on someone's life, do you think that gets them more interested because they can understand then the application? Because sometimes I think reading about research that people are doing, some of the language is difficult to understand for normal people. So do you find that kind of breaking it down and putting things in layman's terms and saying, look, I'm working on this, these are the benefits of it, this is what the outcome could be, do you find people are a lot more responsive or respond more positively, and then they get more interested in it?
Oh, definitely. And I can even say with what I do with microscopy, that's been one of the things that's kind of, had people's light bulbs go, I cannot talk a lot of science jargon, and my professor gets on me about that all the time. But at the same time, I'm like, but look, people understand it. I can say I do atomic force microscopy, which means that all I'm doing is applying a force to a material, and I'm basically able to see the atoms or the little things that make up the material that I'm looking at. So then people are like, oh, okay, that makes sense, and so I feel that there is a very big gap between the science world and the normal world, because like I say, if I could tell you science and just how we're talking, but again, in the scientific world, we do have a certain language that we have to use, which is one of the things, I'm always like, look, when I go to present, that I and then I'm in. So yeah, so definitely breaking things down and having people to understand it is definitely a good thing.
What kind of adversities or difficulties have you encountered or overcome in the course of your education and kind of getting into, or soon to be into, the professional realm of STEM? What have you encountered, and kind of how did you get over it or learn about it and move forward?
So one of the things that I always tell people when I'm doing motivational talks, when I was at LSU, I got from an advisor that I would never graduate in chemistry from LSU because I couldn't pass physics. And that to me, instead of like kind of closing down and saying, okay, yeah, you're right, maybe it's a little too tough, look like me. And I said, look, this advisor said, I can't do this. And I'm crying and boohooing in his office, and he's looking at me and he's like, look, stop all that crying. You can do it. And so basically he helped me navigate a way to be able to overcome the difficulties that I was having in physics, and I was able to matriculate through the program and finish in chemistry. One of the things that I actually learned from this particular mentor was to never let anybody tell you what you can and cannot do, because yes, you will have hardships. However, I've learned not to cry in the face of adversity, because that is a form of weakness. Yes, you will cry. Yes, you will have moments that you're like, I cannot do it, but you never let anybody see that weakness in you. Always remain strong and tough. And if somebody tells you to your face, hey, you can't do it, just wait until you leave that person and then go cry, but never let them see, any weakness in you. Definitely just never give up. And then also too, I'm not I don't have the typical look of a scientist. I have nails. Honestly, I counteract with that with like, look, this is me. You either take it or leave it, but I must be doing something right, because here I am today about to finish with my Ph.D. I have these numerous awards behind me. I have publications that I've done. So the way you look to me has no reference on anything that you're doing, and it has no influence on whatever you do. Always, always, always be you. Stay true to yourself is one of the things that I've always held close to my heart. And so, yeah, just basically like being bold and being courageous. And like I said, you are going to cry. You are going to have times where you're like, you know what, I want to give up.
So that's really great advice to people who, maybe in high school thinking, I'm interested in this, but I'm not really sure how to go about it or how to find out more about it. And and just because they think, well, I don't see anyone like me doing this. So I like that, stay true to yourself.
Yes.
Go for it. Don't hold yourself back. There's nothing to hold yourself back. I think that's a really great advice. Now, are you, you mentioned it before that someone you didn't even know emailed you. Does that happen pretty often, that people reach out to you maybe on social media? Are you on like Instagram, Twitter, things like that in a professional capacity?
So in a professional capacity, the only thing that I have professionally is my LinkedIn account, and you can find it under my name, Treva Brown. But to be honest, one of the things that I've been passionate about is actually, showing others that, you can have fun with chemistry, reach out and, through social media about science. And a lot of people have seen my Instagram, and my Instagram is about dance, which I love, and it's about living a healthier lifestyle, because I'm also a Zumba instructor, and also, being a Ph.D diva, which is my hashtag. I'm even like, I'll go out and somebody's like, oh, look, the Ph.D diva, so it's definitely been a positive influence. So that's like, even though it's not my professional account, it's still a way that I've been able to reach out to people, and kind of in a more lax kind of setting, instead of being all about, the big scientific jargon and etc. Like, look, this is, what I do on a daily basis, or look, I can have fun in the lab. Like, I think I posted one time, like, a picture of me in a crown or something, like, hey, I'm like the queen of the lab or something like that. So, showing that it's fun. And so as a result of that, I've gotten emails and direct messages that have been like, hey, you inspire me. I look at your page all the time, and I see how you're able to basically relate to others, or relate to even myself. And, I love what you're doing. So, yeah, so definitely Instagram. It's diva_Treva. And I also have my Facebook account. My Facebook account is pretty much along the same lines. However, I do charity events as well. So I pretty much promote like my charity events and things like that on Facebook. Professionally, LinkedIn, I try to keep up to date with that, but I really love my Instagram because I feel like, that's really providing an influence on others, especially when, like I say, like people will see me outside and they're like, oh, it's the PhD, but, so yeah.
It seems like that your Instagram persona, what you put out there, makes you feel more accessible to people who might have questions or just want to know more about you, and they don't see this, what maybe is a stereotypical kind of scientist researcher.
Right, and I always get that.
Look, she's a normal person too. Do you have any sort of closing remarks or advice you would give to people, younger folks that think they might have an interest in STEM, but they just don't know where to begin?
That is so hard to kind of like leave to some closing remarks, but one of the things that I would like to say, I actually love the motto that you all have. You can't be what you can't see. Reach out to people like myself and others, and let us help you navigate it. We are out there. I definitely applaud you all for what you are doing and basically bringing us to the underrepresented community, especially in STEM. Believing in yourself, and even if it's not the STEM disciplines that you want to do, like I always tell my high schoolers when I talk to them, I used to love dance. I minored in dance, so I still got my dance degree. So you can do what you love, but there's still also another component that you can basically figure out how to make it something that you love, like with science. Like I love to see science, and with my background, I used to draw Garfield on gold, so I made it fun. So just be you. Like even if you go into, let's say, engineering, you might can make a diagram of Garfield with your statistical background, so just do you, have fun, and basically reach out to your mentors, or I do on Instagram, and reach out to us and say, hey, I'm interested, can you help me? And we are here to help you navigate and help you find the way.
Great. Well, Treva, thank you so much. This was really great. You're so fun to talk to.
Oh, thank you.
And I've learned so much about you. I think you're such an inspiration to people to see, you can be the successful person, but your whole life doesn't have to be about what you're doing in the lab.
Exactly.
You make it really relatable and accessible, I think, for people who have an interest. They don't have to be, a straight A perfect student.
No, they do not. I tell people all the time, and I'm sorry to cut you off. I graduated undergrad with a 2.7. Now, I'm not saying get a 2.7 and you'll be fine, but I graduated with my undergrad degree with a 2.7 GPA, and I always tell every person that comes to me for mentorship, if I could do it and get to graduate school and also get a fellowship with a 2.7 GPA, anybody could do it. So.
Right. Yeah, those are some inspiring words. Yeah. Thanks again, and
you're welcome.
Have a lovely day. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.